So good morning everyone. We are the group number 5 and today we're going to talk about flash fiction. But first, let's explore the content of our discussion. So the contents are: what is flash fiction, characteristics of flash fiction, types of flash fiction, elements of flash fiction, great examples of flash fiction, history of flash fiction, and how to write flash fiction. To begin with, let us call on Mr. Christopher Forteselius for the introduction.
Good day, everyone. Now, let's talk about the flash fiction. So, what is flash fiction? Flash fiction is a style of fictional literature or fiction of extreme brevity. There is no widely accepted definition the length of the category. Flash fiction, also a genre of fiction, defined as a very short story. Other names for flash fiction include sudden fiction, microfiction, short story, short postcard, fiction, prose tree, and short story. There is no word count that separates flash fiction from more traditional short stories. One type of flash fiction is the story with an exact word count. Example: a story with 55 words. A flash fiction, it can be as short as few words.
And now, let's move on to the characteristics of flash fiction. Most writers and publishers consider the story to be short if it falls between 1,500 words and 7,500 words, but this flash fiction is even shorter. Flash fiction stories share a common characteristics, and to tell a great story in a low word count, let's explore its key components. First, tight prose clean. It is very important that your prose should be tight. It means leaving off those unnecessary words, especially adverbs, because words carries weight, and those unnecessary elements can detract the overall impact of the story. Just focus on power verbs to create an image in reader's mind and let them imagine situations. Next is begin in media res. Beginning right in the action is a very effective way to engage the readers. As much as possible, go directly to the main concept or plunge into the middle to capture readers' attention and stimulates curiosity. Next, show instead of tell. It is important in flash fiction stories to show or use strong descriptive verbs and engage 5 senses to make an emotional impact on your readers. Apply different strategies to make your readers amazed. Next, brevity. Flash fiction compresses an entire story into the space of few paragraphs. But even if it was shortened, it still has the beginning, middle, and end part, or has a complete plot that explores memory and emotion of the story and create a wild impact to the readers. Next, trust the readers to find meaning. Since you have shown different senses and emotions on your story, it is easy for the reader to understand and find the general idea you are emphasizing. Since flash fiction will include variety of literary devices such as imagery and symbolism, it will help the reader create wild imaginations and has a visual impact, especially to the young readers. Lastly, often has a surprise ending or plot twist. Great flash fiction often incorporates surprises, usually in a form of twist ending or unexpected last line. The aim of this plot twist is to prompt the reader to think deeply about the true meaning of the story. Above all, these characteristics enable flash fiction to deliver a powerful narrative stories at a shorter words and in a concise structure.
Let's proceed to the types of flash fiction. As stated earlier, flash fiction, or also known as sudden fiction, is characterized by being very short, typically consisting of only a few hundred words and maxing at 1,500 words. Next is microfiction. Microfiction consists of stories with only a few sentences, maxing at 100 words. This form of storytelling challenges writers to convey a complete narrative within a very limited word count. Next is mini saga. A mini saga is a short story based on a long story. It should contain exactly 50 words plus a title of up to 15 characters. Next is six-word story. It is an entire story told only in 6 words. Lastly, Twitterature. Twitterature is conveying a story using the app called Twitter.
Elements of flash fiction. Even though it's much shorter, flash fiction features all the same elements as a short story or a novel. This includes, first, characters. It is the individuals in the story who drive the narrative. They can be complex or simple, but they contribute to the overall plot. Second is the plot. It is the sequence of events that form the storyline. It includes the introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. And the third is conflict or problem. It is the central challenge or obstacles faced by the characters, creating tension and driving the plot forward. Fourth is the build-up. It is the development of the story, adding layers or complexity and anticipation as it progresses toward the climax. Fifth is the resolution. It is the conclusion of the story where the conflict is resolved or addressed, providing closure to the narrative. Sixth is the point of view. It is the perspective from which the story is told, whether it's first person, third person, or another narrative viewpoint. Seventh is the style. It is the author's unique voice and manners of writing, encompassing choices in language, tone, and literary devices. Eighth is the themes. It is the overarching ideas or concepts explored in the story, often conveying deeper meaning or messages. And the last one is the tone. It is the author's attitude or emotional stance towards the subject matter, influencing the overall mood of the story. So, flash fiction maintains these elements, but what sets it apart is its brevity. Typically composed of around 1,000 words or fewer, it challenges writers to convey a complete and engaging narrative within a compact space, sometimes even using much fewer words. Despite its length constraints, flash fiction is capable of exploring diverse genres, offering a concise yet impactful storytelling experience.
Great flash fiction examples. First example is entitled Where Are You by Joyce Carol Oates. Word count 523 words. Published in July 8, 2018. It is a story about a married couple. First line. The husband had got into the habit of calling his wife from somewhere in the house. If she was upstairs, he was downstairs. If she was downstairs, he was upstairs. And when she answered yes, what? He would continue to call her as if he hadn't heard, and with an air of strained patience, Hello? Hello? Where are you? The second example is entitled Sticks by George Saunders, published in 1995. It is a story about a dad and his odd hobby of decorating his pole in the backyard and in the front yard. But what the story is really about is the dad's struggle with his relationship with his kids and his struggle with his inevitable death. So the word count is 593 words. The first line is, every year Thanksgiving night, we flapped out behind Dad as he dragged the Santa soup to the road and draped it over kind of crucifix held built out of metal pole in the yard. So the last example is entitled Give It Up by Franz Kafka. Word count 128 words. So it is published between 1917 and 1922. So the story gives a view of living in a society that only Kafka can intricately depict. So the first line, it was very early in the morning, the streets clean and deserted. I walking to the station. So that was the great flash fiction example.
So now, where did flash fiction came from? The origin of flash fiction is often not given much thought other than Hemingway's well-known For Sale, Baby Shoes Never Worn. Fables and parables from antiquity such as Aesop fables and the Patantra were early forms of microfiction. So what is microfiction? Microfiction is extremely short stories, generally no more than a few hundred words in length. In the early and the mid of 19th century, flash fiction gained popularity with authors like Hemingway, Anton Chekhov, Franz Kafka, Kurt Vonnegut Jr., Yasser Kalbara, and Ray Bradbury, releasing short story. And now, to enlighten you why is flash fiction is helpful for children, here is Ate Nicolette to do so.
So why is flash fiction helpful for children? So flash fiction can be difficult to write well because the writer has to cover plot, characters, themes, and more within a strict word count. But this form is actually perfect for writing practice, and also flash fiction. Writing flash fiction gives the children opportunity to practice in constructing a cohesive plot and characters. The short word means they are able to finish their story within a short amount of time. And for example, so they could write first a draft of a piece of flash fiction during just one lesson. So this allowed the children to learn how to write introductions, conflicts, and resolution, and they can also practice with new all ideas all the time. So with flash fiction, there's no pressure to write several pages of work of a story, because children can explore a form of fun idea and practice using all the key of elements in their meaning. So and even us, so why should we write a flash fiction? It is because it will improve our action writing skills, as we must keep our stories moving, and we also force to get backstory, so we can practice using imagery, symbolism, word choice, and more to achieve our story's meaning. So for the next one, how to write flash fiction. So here are the following tips on how to write flash fiction. So first, explore character through dialogue. So in flash fiction, there are not enough words to write lengthy character descriptions. So you have to find new and unique ways to show readers who are the characters are. And one of the most effective ways to do this is through dialogue. So for the second one is plan out of the story. So plot keep a story moving, and this is especially important for flash fiction. So well-paced action is essential for any piece of short fiction, short flash fiction. So for the third one, jump right into the action. So when you're not sure of the story's headed, so it's easy to get off track and start writing over the word count. So to prevent this, students should plan out the beginning, the main conflict, build out and resolution, and the ending of the story. So before they start writing. And for the last one is the making every word count. So words are precious in every story. So but they really have to pack a punch when there's a limited number of them. So we should encourage students to use powerful words, adjectives, and to help their writing the best that it can be.
And that would be all. Thank you for listening and giving your time on our flash fiction discussion, and hope you gathered lessons and a lot of information. Thank you.